your sanity is definitely just all in your mind. Because you're not saying.
Bro. People try to lend a hand, but they can't help. You gotta pick and choose. We are wearing different shoes. Be a bigger you. Go and get it, never hands out.
All right, welcome to another episode of RxFit Tips. I'm your host, three-time All-American, Benny Oliver. This is Danny Trejo, the founder of RxFit. Here at RxFit Tips, we take problematic and potentially controversial topics, then we make them applicable and systemized for your life. What does that mean?
Take the guesswork out.
We take the guesswork out.
Yeah, make it easy on you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's all part of RxFit as a whole. As you know, if you've been watching this show, is we make things very simple for you, and we have a system where we track certain things that you want to improve on.
Yeah.
We manage what you track, and then we hold you accountable to do those things. Maybe not us per se, but we teach you how to find that in your life for free. You don't even have to join our program. We just want you to have all the information available to you. Today, episode 16.
Today, episode 16, but also the start of a series, our first series, a 3-part series on macronutrients. And I call this the max amounts. Not like MAX amounts, but max like MACS amounts. That stands for macronutrients.
The max amount.
The max amounts, man.
Okay.
Okay, you digging that?
Okay, I can feel that.
By the end of this series, you're gonna know a little bit more about macronutrients and the role that they play in your metabolism. So this is a 3-part series on macronutrients. And by the end of this series, you're gonna know a little bit more about them and the role that they play in your metabolism. So today, we're gonna cover carbohydrates, which is the first part of the series. By the end of the series, you're gonna know the role that carbohydrates plays with your metabolism, or in your metabolism, or on your metabolism.
It's a really big one. Carbohydrates it's the thing that's number one talked about in every diet that you do.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good one to cover.
Yeah.
Especially.
What are carbs, man?
What are carbs?
What are carbs? What is their purpose in our body?
Yeah, so getting into carbohydrates, we want to make sure that you are aware of what they are made of. And then we're going to talk about what they're made of. Then we're going to talk about something called insulin, which I talk about a lot. And the last section is going to be all about the glycemic index. All right?
Oh, wow.
So, first section, what are carbohydrates?
Yeah.
Carbohydrates come in 3 forms. All right? This is going to be relevant because it's how your body breaks things down. And so it tells you what you consume, what kind of energy that you need to be consuming to do whatever you need to be doing. So, monosaccharides, disaccharides, and polysaccharides. Those are 3 types of carbohydrates. Mono means one sugar. Disaccharides means 2 sugars. And then poly means 3 or more.
Right.
Scientists got lazy on that last one. They're like, fuck it, 3 or more, we're calling it good.
Yeah.
So the only things you need to know in monosaccharides are sucrose, glucose, galactose, and fructose are the 4 really big ones.
What are some examples of those, though? If we're talking about monosaccharides, what's an example?
Well, that's what I was going to say. Sucrose. Sucrose is table sugar. That's the stuff that you buy in bags when you're like baking and whatnot, right?
Imperial.
Yeah, imperial sugar. That's right. If you're in America, it's imperial sugar. That's what we.
Right.
If you want to get the cheap stuff, I don't buy sugar anymore.
Domino's
another one.
It's another table sugar.
And then we have glucose. Glucose is very important because it is what the body needs to do to transform any carbohydrate into energy. So out of all the saccharides that we talk about, they all have to be transformed into glucose if your body wants to use them as energy. For carbs. This is It's Carb Day. We're only talking about carbs. That's the main thing here.
Yeah.
So, simple enough. Disaccharides. Disaccharides doesn't really matter, but I'm going to get into it just real quick in 10 seconds.
Okay.
Maltose, lactose, and sucralose. Maltose, if you ever had a malt shake from like the old-timey shake places, they use a malt sugar.
Okay.
Lactose is, of course, a dairy sugar, so if you're lactose intolerant.
Milk.
Yep, that's the stuff you can't have.
Okay.
And then sucralose, which is just a bigger form of sucrose. You'll see sucralose on like high fructose corn syrup products.
Okay.
So high fructose corn syrup is a form of sucralose.
Okay.
They'll try to hide that from you. That's disaccharides, and honestly, doesn't matter. You don't really need to know that one. I just kind of threw it out there so you were aware that it exists. But the most important one, in my opinion, is polysaccharides. That's the bigger chain of carbohydrates. Okay. This is when things get kind of funky because these chains connect so much they become stronger and start forming things you might have heard of a lot. So the first one, and my most favorite, is cellulose. Cellulose is the biological term for fiber. So when you hear fiber, that's cellulose. And cellulose's job is essentially it's a massive rock. and you cannot digest it. It's just this thing that passes through you. You can't do anything with it. The bacteria can't break it down. Your digestive system can't break it down. It just rolls right on through, and it takes all the crap with it, like literal crap with it.
Yeah, I've actually seen a lot of times people will drink fiber. I actually drink psyllium husk sometimes to kind of push and clean things out. So I mean, that's right on with a lot of the.
Yeah, cellulose, that's exactly its form, is the ones that make you, kind of clean everything out.
Go poop.
Yeah, go poop. It makes you want to go poop, to be crass.
Metamucil.
And the next one is starch, which is also one that's kind of heavily talked about. Starch isn't so much important for us, it's more what plants do with glucose. So plants will have glucose as well, as you know, apples and vegetables, they all have forms of carbohydrates in them. And the way it stores it is it grabs glucose and it makes like it makes at least 3 chains of glucose, and they call it starch. It just stores it that way. Not real, you don't even know that, it's just a different form of sugar. The one you do need to know is glycogen. This is the one that I preach heavily, because we'll get into this in the fat topic, but glycogen is a form of glucose, but lots of glucose tied together. It's like if glucose was a single rail car on a train track, then glycogen is the entire train, right? They're all tied together, and they're running together. And for your body to consume, remember I was talking about earlier, glucose is the simplest form, and it's that as energy. It'll grab the glycogen train and say, okay, I just need this piece. So it cuts it off, and it's like, we're going to consume this as energy.
Right.
Why glycogen is important is your body can only store glycogen in your liver and your muscle cells. You can only store about 550, depending on your size, up to 550 grams of glycogen in your muscles and your liver. And when you get dangerously low on that stuff, it'll preserve your last little bit for your immune system, for hormonal functions, that kind of stuff. And then it'll start burning your fat. That's why it's important for the fat topic we'll get into in a couple days or a couple of episodes.
Right.
And then the last one, not important at all, but I think it's just a fun fact you can use at a dinner party. It's called chitin. Chitin is this complex sugars combined so much that insects use it as an exoskeleton.
Bro, you gotta be shitting me. You gotta be shitting me.
Yeah, that's okay. We're definitely gonna use that as a dinner party.
Wow,
you
man.
know what chitin is? You can chitin me.
Yeah, you chitin me.
So that's in its essence.
Dude, that's awesome, man. I didn't know that.
That's the heaviest. I mean, don't pick up an insect and go, sugar. Like, look at it. It's probably not gonna taste delicious.
Right.
So that is in essence. I wanted to get through that as fast as possible, so you understood what the basics were of carbohydrates, right?
Right.
You got it. You understand what they are. You know what simple sucrose and glucose is. It's just a one very, very, very small molecule that you burn as energy, and then you have your bigger ones, polysaccharides. That you have to take time to break those down, or you can't break down at all, like cellulose. Right. So now getting into glycemic index.
Right. Before you do that, I want to ask. There's all these different diets that have all these different amounts of carbs. Or some say no carbs. Some say you need to have carbs for energy. Some say minimize your carbs. Like, how much should someone be taking? Like, how much carbs should you have a day?
Well, I can't talk about that until we finish the entire section here.
Okay.
Until we get through all 3 points, because this is the I'm still building the foundation of carbohydrates, and all these things are very relevant to that exact topic, because that's exactly what I'm gonna lead with.
Good.
And the main point of this entire talk is so you have an understanding of how many carbs you have and why you have that many carbs.
There you go.
If you just listen to some trainer, not to be crass, but some asshole, you'd be like, oh, have 150 grams a day, or that's exactly what I'm supposed to have. Everyone's giving you some kind of quantity, and you don't know why. That you're not here at RxFit Tips because of that. If you want someone to tell you, type hashtag online personal trainer on Instagram and listen to one of those guys. If you want to know why you need to have a certain amount, that's what we're talking about today.
Yep.
So the very next thing is going to be insulin index.
Forward, they telling me I am a better me. I don't know why, but I fly on my own. Now I'm building up. I don't think I'm coming down. Even stars start to shining when they underground. Lamborghini dreaming, meaning that no one can stop me. Started spitting sloppy, now they all coming to watch me. Made a lane that kept me staying on my own. This is my throne, that's why I'm taking